and welcome to another edition of Dungeons and Dragons. Was this episode 41, the Codex of Adia? Shit is about to get real. Maybe an army of angels? We'll find out. Let's cut to the players and get our recap from last week.
It's like the 1 week before fire, it'll tell the story that only fire can tell. It'll tell the story, try to throw it on fire.
Starts over again.
Yeah, exactly. Or just starts verbally reading what's on the parchment.
Oh,
All
crap.
right. Oh, I gotta pull up the map for Sif.
Sif map. Oh, Sif gets his own map.
Who won the recount?
Still Sif
One is
won.
the right. One is the right word, but that would be I.
One is definitely the right word.
So you
I don't know if
won.
we're golfing here or what, but yeah, I won.
I mean, you beat 3 other people for the chance to tell the recount.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot I had the opportunity to give the recount.
The privilege and the honor.
Yeah, the privilege.
Then you can recount the tales of me.
Yes.
I mean, Kane's the one that killed it. Everybody else was just in the way.
Let's say 27. All right. You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it. I'm
Okay.
trying to find the map with...
You go find that map while I regale us with tales of old.
Okay.
Alright, so, Kayan and friends were at camp, and we had just gotten back after, Kayan had talked to a nice dwarf little man, and offered him parts of the bear, and he left, so we went and, Kayan packed up the bear. Jesse followed him into the camp to kind of pick up and see if she could help. And Io was staring off into nothingness while we were doing so. And then he snapped out of it, and we decided to go east still. We were going to go up the mountain because that was the last place we saw Jester going. And as we were going, Jessie said she heard something about almost towards the top of the mountain, and it sounded like Jester using mass amounts of profanity, as Jester normally would do, and tumbling down a hill. So we decided to kind of pick up the pace a little bit. And as we were going up the hill, there was a guy that came by on a horse, or a hooded figure of some sort on a horse, that was going like really, really fast, like almost abnormally fast on the horse, which was interesting, and we kind of just watched it go by. After that, we continued going, and there was a super bright like flash of light, which caught Kayan off guard since he was like picking up the pace and walking, and he fell on his face to hide from the light. And we didn't hear anything after that light, but we kind of thought it was Io was the one that suggested that. He said that something is here and that we really needed to kind of pick up the pace. So Kayan, in his lovely fashion of taking directions, just starts sprinting up the trail until we get to the place on the map, which is the burnt caravan that Kayan had talked to before. And in the caravan, everything's dead. Like, people are dead, horses are dead, wagons like in pieces. And the other two stayed back. Kayan goes up to the dwarf that he talked to before to kind of see what had killed him and if it was actually dead. And he was dead. He was very dead, and like whole in chest dead. Anyway, as Kane was kind of doing this and investigating, Io got trapped in some type of like pure light containment field, and Kane turns around to see that Jesse and this dude with wings is they're like having a heated conversation of some sort, but I couldn't really make it out because they were like flying up in the air with each other. And then I saw them like I could just see Jesse talking and getting really pissed off and starting to like almost try to fight him. So I tried to join in this fight, but I couldn't move. And then all I could do is watch them fight and kind of exchange words until the angel dude gets like pummeled into the ground, like through mentalism, which must be really funny if you think about it for Can watching this. Like two people are arguing and then like just they're getting slammed into the ground by nothing happening. Anyway, I can finally move and I see Io. I take a potion that I have, and I mix it, and I throw it. It's a potion of darkness, and it negates the light field, and gives Io a little bit of darkness to move around and kind of jump out of the bear trap, which I forgot to mention because he, stepped in a fucking bear trap to top it all off.
The irony.
Yeah. The irony of that I just killed a bear and then the bear trap caught Io. Anyway, yeah, I killed the bear. Still,
You're taking credit for killing the bear now?
Still killed the bear in my mind. Anyway, big fight ensues. Now that Io's free, all three of us are actually out, and we're gonna try to take on this dude. I try to charge at him after freeing Io, and try to clip his wings because Can thinks if wings are gone, guy can't fly. So I keep trying to clip his wings. I swing, I miss. Dude chokes me, lifts me up in the air, drops me. No one saves Can. Can falls to ground. Lucky for Can is strong.
I would have saved Kane if I could.
Then as I'm kind of regaining everything from being trapped, I think, did you say 120 feet? But I survived. Anyway, I see another person get dropped, and it was Jesse, who made a crater next to my crater. So I crawled up to the side of the crater, threw a healing bomb to where it would hit both of us, kind of smashed it in the ground. Got up, tried to clip the wings again, and we know how that works. Anyway, the angel ends up getting pummeled face down into the ground, and Can sees this as his one and only opportunity to finally clip the wing, because Can doesn't know it's dead yet. And Can just slams his axe into the back and harvests the wing and sticks his great axe through the dude. So, yeah.
It was beautiful.
Can still needs to harvest angel blood.
Yeah, because that could definitely come in handy. And won't it all, encourage the angels to come and kill us more. It's one thing.
It's very fitting. I'm wearing my Green Lantern shirt. It's a hoodie right now.
If the angels come first, we're going to need lots of Green Lantern power.
All right, so with that epicness, what are the characters doing currently?
Angel blood.
I'm watching with fascination as Can goes through the angel's guts or whatever the angel has on the inside to get the angel blood.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I?
yeah.
I'm gonna search and loot the body.
Yeah. You loot that body. I basically took the wing that I've harvested, and I'm just gonna take a couple of vials of blood. You know, for safekeeping.
Just in case.
Yeah. Just in case, you know, you can make a poison out of angel blood.
Or something else.
Or if Io had mentioned before, if I drink it and I could fly, you know. Shit what Kain would do, right? Just have to have it.
Yeah, I was probably just watching Kane drinking the getting.
I'm not drinking the blood, damn it.
Well, not drinking it, but collecting it. It's like say if you know Kane, you know if you drink the angel blood, it gives you wing.
Dick.
And I inspired Io just like kicks the angel a couple of times for good measure, just to make sure.
I'm pretty sure my character didn't know it was an angel.
It had wings, and did it have a halo? I don't remember if it had a halo or not.
Well, okay, but we're in a fantasy world where a lot of weird shit happens.
It's true. Did he say didn't he say that he was an angel? I don't know.
No, he never said.
There was never a halo.
Also, it's just some fucker with wings. We're fine.
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously not a very good person if you wanted to kill me. So.
He's the best person. I would have given him a hug. But I'm not there.
You missed all the fun.
Jester's falling down the side of a mountain.
No, but I am continuing on the other side of the mountain.
After I get the wing and stuff shoved into my pack, I would like to go search the wagon that was exploded.
Okay. So you go over to the wagon and it's still burning ember, and now the pieces of the wagon are even more scattered from you guys' crazy war with the angel. Inside, go ahead and make a search check.
Searching. Search. Fuck you, game. 2 in a row.
Oh, and you did catch that I was searching the body, right?
Oh, of the angel.
Yes.
Well, it's -1 wing. And it has multiple little pouches with different things inside of it. What looks like sand, what looks like diamond dust, and also some what just looks like dirt in 3 different little packages
Well,
or
it
pouches.
seems strange that he's got these things in these little pouches, but I decide to take them.
Okay. Sif, can
And
you
then
roll
I-
1d4?
Yeah, please just say I just burnt my fucking hand.
You
Oh,
get
gee.
2 point. You take 2 points of damage as you find multiple splinters.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, thank you.
And well, I take those like 3 pouches and I walk over to Kayan, and I said, "Here, these were on the body," and I explained to him, what's in each pouch, or show him what's in each pouch. The diamond dust, what looks like sand, and he said the other one looks like sand, diamond dust, and what was the other one?
Dirt.
Then dirt.
Dirt. And I was like, I don't know if these are anything special. I mean, I don't know why anyone would carry this stuff around, but you're the one who deals with like potions and stuff. Do you want these?
I just as she hands each of the pouches, I look at them and I go, these could be useful, and attach put them on my belt, with all the other potions and stuff that I have.
Ha. Okay.
And what are you searching, Kayan?
I'm searching for splinters in my finger.
Oh,
I'm searching the Arcane's dead dwarf friend.
That's the headless guy that you're next to.
Yep, you find a lot of ruined armor. So that guy's cut in half and on fire. So Io finds a dwarf cut in half on fire. Obviously the armor's ruined, and there's a longsword laying next to him that looks drenched in blood.
Oh, if the longsword drenched in blood, that means he got it killed before he. It's kind of nice. Broken is playing Rocket League. What?
No, he's not.
That's
shit.
what my Steam thing said.
Oh, apparently I'm playing Rocket League now. Fuck you, game. Close. So, the second body, that one's not cut in half, but you do find ruined armor as the body's laying there on fire. You also find another longsword, and this one has a half-charred longbow.
Any of the horses or the creatures that were carrying the wagon, are any of them alive? Or are they all dead?
They are, in fact, all dead. Super dead.
Roast.
All
That's,
dead and on fire.
Oh, but nice on top of walk the rest of the way.
Oh, jeez.
So I get up as the others are searching, and I'm picking splinters out of my hand, and I no longer wish to look at things. As I'm just like walking away, just following the path, just picking out freaking tons of splinters. I look back at as in like
following you.
yeah, I'm looking back as I was like as we're walking, he's searching the bodies, and I look at them. I go, "Do you think that horse guy could have done this?"
The horse guy?
You know, the guy on the fast horse who went that way, and I'm pointing up the mountain.
I was kind of confused because I don't think he saw the horse guy. So he didn't really know what Ken is talking about. He looks back at the horses that are like dead and charred on the road. I was like, I don't think those horses had anything to do with it. I think it was the angel guy that killed these poor fine people. That just goes to show that the angels are bad. Because he tried to kill me, and he tried to kill us, and he killed Ken's friend.
Do you think we need to keep going fast up the mountain?
Well, where there's one angel, there's probably more angels, and
I look over at Io and I go, that was an angel?
I'm like, what else would it be?
A guy with wings attacking you?
Because I was with the darkness and he was the light. You know, angels just love to think that they're the good guys in the story. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was an angel. But who knows? I could be wrong. But I wouldn't
Alright.
be surprised. and it's kind of hard to look at, and that's kind of like you kind of like pulverized into a pulp, and can't really identify the body now. But yeah, pretty sure that's what it was. And there could be more, and we definitely need to continue to hurry at a fast pace because one of the God Forged weapons is close by, and maybe even other things that are very important. So a lot of powerful creatures vying for control of these things, so we should definitely be the one to get there first.
Yes.
Alright, I'm done. Oh, Y3 monitor is fantastic. Alright, so Kayan, after hearing them talk about the angel, just decides, and saying that the Godforged weapon is there, I look at Io, I say, we need to move fast, and then can take off up the mountain again.
And of course, Ken is the one to charge it.
Yeah, after he says that one of the Godforged weapons is here, or close to being here, yeah, I'm gone. Run.
You're running?
Yeah, I'm running. I'm running up the hill. I'm not up the hill. I'm still standing on the damn path. I ain't doing a.
Well, I mean, that hill's slowly gonna turn into a mountain.
Yeah. There's a trail. I'm running the trail. I ain't flying. I can't be like you guys. I'm grounded.
Do you have your trail running shoes on?
I'm barefoot.
Hmm.
I don't know if I can. I mean, talking just with Ken because he just kind of run off. Mention over to Jessica that they need to be particularly careful because not only are the beings of light, after these weapons, the darkness is also here too, and
The darkness.
they may not take too kindly to you and Ken since they might consider you neutral or opposing parties. They might be more friendly to me since I'm the being of darkness. You should probably let me go first, but in case you run into anything like that, because I have a feeling that they're close by.
You better catch us.
And so after I say that, I look Kane who's running off and is like, we better catch up to him. So yeah, I start sprinting at full speed, trying to catch up to Kane.
I'm flying.
This seems like deja vu. Seems like Kane ran off last time.
Yeah, Kane ran off last time, and then we found the caravan and the angel. So,
Yeah.
well, we can find this time.
Yeah, how did that work out for everybody?
I don't know, it worked out pretty well, actually. I mean, thanks to Jessica, we that turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
To be fair, I thought we were all gonna die.
Well, I knew that we would be fine through the power of friendship, the darkness. The dark side has cookies.
Oh, jeez. So you guys are just sprinting up the mountainside?
Well, up the trail.
Okay, Jester, climb checks.
Many checks. Is anybody else's dice running really slow?
My dice just suck. But no.
Well, at least you get all the bad ones out of the way, and then when it really matters, you're gonna do well.
That's funny, huh? So, Jester begins climbing up the other side of the mountain. So, again, his breathing is incredibly labored at this point, as you've gone probably like, I don't know, 7 miles or so, and most of it being straight up, and then some of it being down, some of it being, tumbling into a tree. But Jester is getting pretty exhausted at this point, and he, as he's climbing up the other side of the mountain, he's fighting a wave of exhaustion and a slight bit of dehydration as you're incredibly parched.
Well, I was just going to describe how I was going to fix that parchy concept. So, inventory. Before leaving the first mountainside, I was going to fill one of my water skins with snow, and then keep it in my vest pocket so that it would melt. Because I know drinking or eating snow and whatnot is bad for heat retention. And so I'm drinking the frozen or melted snow and continuing on in that way.
Okay, so you're still maintaining hydration. You're just a little bit more tired as you're going across or up that second side of the mountain. Does Jester have a particular point in where he's trying to go? Or is he just heading due east?
I'm checking the amulet to see if it's giving me any indication.
So as you get to about right where you're at, you check the amulet and it's glowing like twice as fast as your heart rate, and in fact it's pulsing double your heart rate, and it makes Jester's heart rate like surge as it's pulsing with its green glowing light, which is the only light that's being given off in the underneath the canopy of the trees as Jester's moving through the orange underbrush.
I want to take the necklace off and see if it'll do like kind of a pendulum swing and actually give an indication.
So you take it off and you start to give it a swing. Make a reflex check.
Oh.
Oh no.
So the pendant stops swinging suddenly, and it goes straight up in your hand and drags you a good 2 feet. So you plant your feet into the scree and into the underbrush, and it drags you a good 2 feet towards the down towards the trail or towards the cavern floor directly below you. And for a moment, the amulet comes directly out of your hand and starts flying down towards the cavern floor, and you're able to reach out and lunge forward and grab it and land on your feet.
Thanks. So, kind of in the direction of the white arrow, or what are we looking at?
Yes, very much in the direction of the white arrow.
So what do we got around here? As far as like trees and stuff like that.
So you've got large trees that reach up at least 30 feet into the air, and you've got a whole bunch of underbrush, bushes and thorn area, which you've been nimbly able to avoid. With that, you've also got differing levels of scree as you're going down the side of the mountain. You can tell that this part of the side of the mountain / this part of the world hasn't been disturbed by humanoid footfalls in a while. The only thing around you see are different animals, and it's quite peaceful.
Are there any fallen logs, branches?
You make a quick gaze around you, or a quick scan around you, and you can see several different fallen branches from the trees.
Is there like a decent sized log though? Like a fallen tree?
Good question. Go ahead and make a search check.
And I guess the other question before I even mess with this, what's the incline like?
If you go down this way, it's a super steep incline. Rather going this way, as this would be going down the side of the mountain. So imagine in WoW, when you're going, like, trying to go up the side of a mountain versus going up, like, the ridge of the mountain, the ridge would be far less treacherous than going through the multiple tree area on the inside. It takes you a couple minutes, but you're able to find a couple different felled trees that just, like, rotted out and have been long since dropped.
Okay. I would like to combine my hideous blow with, but I want to do it as a channel, as opposed to like just a burst. And I would like to carve some ends off of this felled tree so that it looks kind of like a canoe.
Okay. Let's see. Make a let's see. Do you have spellcraft?
Should.
Yeah, make a
Kind of.
spellcraft check. So it takes you a little bit of time, but you're able to morph the power of your eldritch magic to do exactly what you wish.
Cool. So once I get done with that, I'm going to apply this here potion of mage armor to the bottom of it. And just cover it all over the place.
Bathing it.
Okay.
And we're gonna go down this mountain super fucking fast.
Oh God.
Did you carve out a seatbelt?
I have,
Bag.
I have a bad feeling the jester's gonna fly.
A life vest.
I will put my leafy umbrella over me
Oh god.
Okay.
and belt myself into it with my blue ascot from clear from the beginning.
Oh fuck. Okay.
And we're going tobogganing.
All right. So, as we do this, this takes a little bit of time to get set up and ready to go. You get in and you're getting ready to toboggan down the side of a mountain through the forest area.
And I'm going to have it wrapped around my wrist. But to help guide this, I'm going to have the amulet back off my neck
Oh,
and pulling even more.
okay. Go ahead and make a ride check. Okay.
Oh, hell.
It's not terrible.
It's not a critical failure.
No, not at all. We'll give you a 70% chance that nothing bad happens. So,
Those are actually really good odds.
those are. So go ahead and roll a percentile dice. If it's 71 or higher, bad happens.
This is terrible. We know what's going to happen here, right?
I just have this cartoon in my head of Jester getting in this log and using the under his makeshift umbrella tied in, and he's using the amulet to like steer as it's pulling, and he's getting pulled along, sliding in between tree and tree and tree. Wee! What could go wrong? Okay. So how did Jester
And at this point, it's probably like a luge style. It's like, ah!
Yeah, totally. Did Jester account for any breaks?
What?
Breaks? Oh, jeez.
I'm a dex monkey.
Crack.
Tumble.
Yeah, so you make it through the trees, bobbing and weaving, going in and out in your hollowed out branch or hollowed out trunk, and you come flying out of the side of the tree line. Whee! With your makeshift toboggan branch about to hit the ground, do you stay in or do you bail out and make a tumble check?
Does it seem to flatten at all, or is it like pile of rocks?
Oh, it's flat. There's not a pile of rocks there. It's just given the momentum, you know that you could potentially have a couple splinters in your ass. Said, riding this toboggan into the ground.
That's what the mage armor was for.
Protect my ass with mage armor.
That and the integrity of the toboggan.
Oh yeah, it did its job coming down the side of the mountain.
You forgot to coat the inside.
I only had one flask. So where exactly am I landing? Is that kind of where he's at?
Yeah, it's
On your
pretty accurate representation up there. So in the trail up there. So basically you'd be like looking back up to climb back up to the middle of this mountain, where probably about 40 foot climb from where you're about to land is you see like a large opening in the side of a mountain, like the mouth of a cave.
So the amulet didn't like rip me out of the thing as we were passing this point?
No, the amulet brought you right to the pathway.
Oh. That's convenient. Because I'm a... Oh, actually, I'm going to use the umbrella thingy to kind of dig in and try to slow myself before I crash and burn.
Okay.
What the irony of Pyro Shady Shapes saves Jester's life.
if that doesn't work, I'm going to tumble my ass out of it.
So, the makeshift toboggan comes flying out, breaking the tree line, and you get the sense that your makeshift umbrella isn't going to Mary Poppins style stop you. You're going to come crashing hard into the side.
Not like that. I mean, like, the stick that has all the brushes off of it, I'm using to, like, dig in and apply a brake, sort of.
Oh, I got you. The stick breaks.
Yes.
I'm using a stick. It breaks.
Go ahead and make a tumble check as the log is flying through the air, and you don't have all the faith in that one that one potion of mage armor. So you tumble out and land gracefully with a backflip on your feet, right as the log smashes into the ground and cuts itself into a majestic display of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of little splinters as it breaks completely apart. Jester goes to quickly hide and just stumbles and falls flat on his face.
And I'm absolutely enamored by the explosion of wooden particles that was almost including me.
Can we hear this loud shattering of wood?
Make a listen check.
You got it.
We hear nothing.
You hear Kayan gracefully sprinting up the mountainside.
Yeah,
I'll try. Did I hear anything?
You saw Jester basically fall flat on his face. As you guys
With my ears?
No. Oh, you heard it. You heard it happen, but you also saw it happen as you're flying.
Okay.
I remember you said you were flying, so you're the blue
Yes.
arrow. Is where the party is at. And you guys are coming up right on where Jester's at. However, with you flying, you had the vantage point to see. You heard a loud thud and a crash and explosion, and you see Jester laying flat on his face. And you also see Kayan breathing very heavily as he runs unsmoothly up the side of the mountain.
I get the others' attention, but not to like slow them, and I'm like going, we gotta keep going. Jester's right up there. We've almost
you.
found him.
Do I hear her saying this and approaching?
Yes, you hear those words rebounding through the mountainside as she wasn't at all quiet.
Before I push myself out of the dirt, I mumble. And I stand up, a little bit on the woozy, like, oh. And part of me wants to be like, fuck yeah, that was awesome! And then the other part of me is like, no, there are things that want to eat us and kill us. And this argument is going on inside my head.
As the rest of the party makes it up to the scene,
So
What?
we're all together again.
Mm-hmm.
Yay!
And I'm like, Jester, where have you been?
I went up the mountain. I tried to scout things out. Turns out scouting things from atop the mountain is not such a good idea. But there was all sorts of craziness going on down in the valley below.
Yeah, there was.
I'm glad to see that you guys weren't a part of that, because that looked like it was terrible. Oh, by the way, the amulet says we're going up there.
I kind of just like don't say anything and like
You guys look
okay.
like hell.
It's been a long walk.
It has.
Kane is panting.
Also, I went sledding.
I kind of looked up the mountain and I'm like, well, and I looked at where you had like gotten up from being like flat, landing face first, and I'm like, well, that looks like it, fun.
It was awesome. It's better than
Question
killing
is,
people.
would you do that again?
Of course. Why wouldn't I? I just need to get him to make me some new stuff. Oh, I collect my blue ascot out of the rummage.
It is not on fire. It's fine. It is not blown up into 1,000 pieces. It does have a couple splinters in it.
Souvenirs.
And as we stop, I take a drink out of the water skin that I have and offer it to everyone.
Yeah.
I take the biggest of drinks, and like they're all staring at it like it should be empty, but they just keep drinking it and then hand it off, like holding it out, like, anyone want any?
I said, sure. Then I look over at Io, who looks kind of sad.
Well, why do you think I look sad?
Because you're upset that you have no one to make water for?
How did you know? That's exactly what I was feeling right. He's just he's looking at his hands and his ability to create water is utterly useless. And he feels like he should pray for a new power. But yeah, that's exactly what's going through Aya's mind right now. It's crazy how fine-tuned the party is. We're all in sync.
We all know and love each other so much.
That's exactly it.
I'm oblivious, and I drink from his thing.
Ha.
And I take it from Jester and I put it back in the pack. Because Io didn't want to drink any. He's just
I don't need to drink.
he's depressed as the bottle gets passed around. He just like just has that
creating
look
one
on
of
his
my
face.
way to fit in when everybody is drinking, but now I can't drink. I can't create drink. It's useless. What good am I during the drinking?
So we're on this path, and you said that there's a cave-ish place in front of us.
Manda's home!
Someone's trying to kill my dogs.
Maybe it's the angels.
Okay, if there's the little yippy dogs in the cave, fuck it. I'm leaving them. They can have whatever they want.
Those are the monsters we have to face. Stand between us
Yappy
and
dogs
ultimate
of doom.
glory. Hey, knowing broken those little yippy dogs will have like 1,000 HP and one shot him. Don't
What
underestimate.
you talking about, Willis?
It's got, and it has like 700 AC.
Yeah. So you guys are staring up at the opening on the mountainside, and Sifscott. Kane's just continuing to drink as the rest of you are kind of staring up on that opening on the side of the mountain. The necklace and in Jester's hands glows bright and has a very methodically slow rhythm to it, like our pulse, like a very slow heartbeat as you're staring up the side of the mountain.
Well, let's not dally, children. We've got other shadowy fiends that are going to be coming after us, and nothing good to come of it. So let's go! Oh, fuck.
Hey, you should be glad you're getting this now.
Yeah, it's true.
Otherwise, we'd be scraping your body off of the path.
So Jester gives this roaring, momentum-filled speech about, let's not waste any time, there's other shadow fiends, and he starts hauling ass up the side of the mountain and slips and falls face first into the dirt and just kind of lays there, and in that comical sense, you see his face in the dirt and you just hear, oh.
I kind of just look at him and shake my head.
I'll catch up.
I walk over to Jester and like pick him up by the back of his clothes and like lift him up to his, like help him up to his feet. And like after I lift him up, I pat him on the back. I go, we're together. We can walk slower now.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that.
So you guys make your way up the side of the hillside, mountainside. You're halfway up to the top, and you see a spark of light go off from the inside of the cave. And there's a large flash of light that blinds each of you as the amulet gives off a shock of green light that pulsates out throughout the mountainside.
Honey,
Well, that's
we're
not ominous.
home.
Someone quick, cast detect magic.
Hey, if I still had my detect magic wand, I would totally be on that, but it was destroyed by an unknown power, so I don't have it.
I kind of meant the fact that.
Okay. So I do.
You do what?
What does Jester do?
Detect magic.
Cries solemnly to himself. So the flash of light goes off. What do you guys do? Do you talk about it, or do you just kind of like shrug and continue walking?
I just put my hands over my eyes because I don't like bright things.
Can dives face first in the ground like last time.
Solid.
Yeah, I kind of like, I look up.
Chris is scanning the air for another winged creature. She's like, "Bring it, bitch!"
Oh, God.
And I literally say what I said when it happened. So
Got it. So the flash goes by, and you hear a crack of thunder, much like the lightning from before, just reverberate through the side of the mountain range. You're hearing that as Kayan picks himself up from the dirt.
Sounds about right.
weird storms around here. Are we needing a break? Is that what I'm getting from that extra sound?
Yes. Rogan has left us.
Yeah, I would say we could take a quick smoke break.
Anarchy!
Smokes
oh.
and potties.
I typed this comment, but my question is, are we fighting Thor now?
We're gonna die.
All right. Well, I'm gonna walk away from the computer for a few. BRB.
What perils await our heroes? Bum bum bum.
All of them.
Happy fuzzy creatures that just want to give hugs. Yeah.
It's a fucking white rabbit from fucking Monty Python.
That would be. We should fight that.
And we
Anyone
fucking
have a, does anyone have a holy hand grenade?
You'd be the closest one to having it.
Why would I have the holy hand?
Because you're technically the only holy person here.
Oh yeah, I am a very divine person.
Not
'Cause-
true. He only has one level of holiness.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's the holiest one out of all of us.
Well, I mean, I took a level in Crusader. I also use a divine, which is that's 2 levels of divine.
Oh shit! You have 2 levels of cleric.
Not cleric, Crusader. 1 level is Crusader, which also uses divine power. Cleric.
Oh shit! In the darkness of the night, we hear the whispers of light.
I hate you.
The whispers are your friend. They whisper good things.
They just whisper you sweet nothings. That's why you like them.
Well, you know, if you became one with the darkness too, then you could know what they're whispering. But
Pass.
fortunately, you know, you rejected that offer to join the darkness.
I was never offered.
I told a guy I could introduce you to my shadow friends, and you said no. Kane said
Yeah.
Kane could have
My
been
friends
shadowy.
are made of shadows.
Could have been shadowy.
Shadow friends.
I mean, it's only a matter of time for the whole party is just a bunch of shadows.
We're just waiting for Chris.
March together.
You know, the shadows. Oh, our time is coming.
master's table. 3 lies will he offer you. Her heart is a crater, and we have filled it. The King of Diamonds has been made a pawn. At the hour of her 3rd death, she ushers in our coming. From the earth, he draws strength. Our earth, our strength. Its surface blazes bright, masking shadows below. Is bright, its surface blazes strength. Its surface blazes bright, masking shadows below. To find him, drown yourself in the circle of stars. 5 keys to open our way. 5 torches to light our path. Flesh is his gift. He is your true creator. The Lord of Ravens will turn the key. A presence, something new, yet a presence, something new, yet familiar. Yes. Your
Sounds
coming
creepy.
was foretold in the rings. The long circle is nearly complete. Come, little ones, savor your fear. Come, little ones, savor your fear as we feast upon it. At last,
It's me.
the feeding hour. Rejoice, the end comes soon. Rejoice, the end comes soon.
Oh,
Oblivion offers solace. Take the gift. Take it. You have failed those who needed you. Your light sputters out. Welcome, death. Do not fight it. Release your grip on hope. Release your grip on hope. The pain of flesh
It's gone.
is
It's
fleeting.
released. It's
True
done.
Bye-bye.
lasts forever. What pointless impudence! We share a master. Every blow struck at our heart will be repaid 1,000-fold. Out! Out! You are not yet worthy.
I think the angel got Chris.
Fight. Still, you refuse the gift. Nazoth, I journey to Nylothal.
Chewbacca.
I'm gonna use the bathroom since Chris is taking forever.
I'm gonna take a nap.
The boy king serves at the master shadows below. Asking shadows below. Its surface blazes bright, masking shadows below.
Didn't realize I was in the AFK channel.
Find him.
AFK channel.
Himself in the circle of stars.
Now we lost Seth because he got sleepy later.
I'm here, damn it.
Away.
Seth's back.
Torches to light is nearly complete. Come, little ones. Sit. Feeding our ice. The end comes. Reach. The feeding hour. Rejoice. The end comes soon.
No.
Alright, so you guys are staring up the side of the mountain. And she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes.
Is that the song we hear as we climb the mountain?
So you guys continue climbing up the side of the mountain?
And, well, I think Seeker's flying.
Yes.
I'm kind of like shadow jumping up
You can't do that in broad daylight.
the ability that I got from the maneuver allows me to do it in daylight. Doesn't have any restrictions.
So apparently you can do that in broad daylight.
Yeah, because I have two different things. I got the one to jump from being a shadow, but there's a maneuver that I picked up as a storage station. It lets me jump whenever. It just uses a standard action, but if we're not in combat. So I can do it like every 6 seconds.
I'm following.
I'm sure if you ask nicely, Jessica will let you carry your extra flies. I mean, that could be fun. With your angel wing, and then, it'd be like you're flying as an angel.
You're what?
Kane has an angel wing. He wants to fly the wing.
Why does he have You know what? The less I know, the better.
Oh yeah, that's right. You weren't there with us. Kane just found an angel wing on the side of the road, and he put it in his bag.
You should probably get rid of that. They tend not to like that sort of thing.
Well, you know Kane, he likes to pick up souvenir. I couldn't have the heart to tell him.
As Jester skillfully climbs the side of the mountain, bum bum bum. You guys reach to what looks like a plateau on the side of the mountain range, and off of that plateau is a small walkway into the opening of a large cave entrance. As you guys all come together and you're staring at this, the entrance to the cave is probably 30 feet high, very wide, and it's very dark inside the cave. And just as Kayan pulls himself up over the ridge, as the three of you that made it more easily there than him are staring in kind of like awe, the amulet flashes a bright light again. Not blinding this time, just a flashlight. And it starts pulsing at double Jester's heart rate again. And as Kane brings himself to his feet, you hear the sharp wail or cry of a female voice coming from the inside of the cave.
Damsel in distress, maybe? Maybe a friend?
As you look at the cave entrance, there's probably a good 100 feet from where you're standing on the precipice from the side of the mountain to get into the cage. To get in the cave, as Jester dives into some of the under the foliage on the side. Thank you. Io's listening, and Io, you also see the carcass of a dead horse on the right side of the entrance to the cave.
Well, that doesn't look promising.
I look over at Ken like, Ken, is that the horse that you saw earlier with the rider that you mentioned?
I'm just like shrug. I'm like, maybe. It was going fast.
As Kane says this and shrugs, there's a stiff breeze that flows through the mountain passway. You can hear the trees rifling as the sharp wind passes through it, and you swear you hear some kind of howling on the breeze.
Do I sense any void or dark presence in the cave?
From where you're at, you can't. Maybe when you get inside the cave. It definitely feels slightly ominous.
It's like, well, I mean, unless anybody's volunteering to go into the cave first, I'll kind of walk in first. It could be dangerous.
So as he's explaining this to the others, I'm already like.
Of course, Chester's already gone.
I can imagine Io giving this very monotone speech to the other two, and as he's saying this could be dangerous, the camera pans to Jester on the entrance of the cave, and he's shuffling in very slowly and quietly.
And well, if it's anything dangerous, I'm sure Jester will for it.
And I dropped the amulet inside my shirt because I think that would probably be a bad giveaway.
Okay. You feel a little bit of heat as it slightly, as it's hot, and it gives a slight burn to your chest hairs.
You also have chest hair.
I was imagining chest hair.
I follow Jester into the cave. Assuming that everyone else is gonna follow
Make a spot check.
eventually.
Do you follow me into the cave?
I follow.
What is
Or if
Chris
you
doing?
just
Oh, I decide to follow. But to try to keep myself like quieter, I kind of just hover above the ground, so I don't make any crunching sounds.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
Well, had you actually given that option, I might have gone with it.
You enter the cave, and the cave is incredibly dark except for a slow burning fire in the center of the cave. There seems to be some rubble in the back left and right side, as well as some debris stacked in the back of the left and the right and the center. As you guys walk in, the hair on your arms stand as well as the nape of your neck. You have a very disconcerting feeling as you enter the cave.
I just look around the cave and still trying to sense if there's any kind of dark presence, or if I hear any whispers from the void. See if there's any indication of something being in there.
So, with my detect magic up, does anything come out of that too, either?
Nothing in this cave is magical.
I am going to walk toward the fire because I like fire.
Oh,
And I need
geez.
to see.
So as you're doing this, halfway through the steps, have you ever like ran outside around like sheets hanging up to dry in the sun?
No, we don't do that in California.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Or like moving traffic?
Yeah.
I can do moving traffic. I can relate to that one.
Have you ever like thrown up a blanket and ran underneath it? Or a
Absolutely.
tent? Okay. So you get that feeling as you're walking halfway through, like you passed through something, but you didn't pass through something. You have a real unsettled feeling as you walk towards the fire. And as you get closer, you swear you hear something. A familiar female voice.
Okay.
As Kane's passing through this thing that he feels, is he still in sight, or has he like disappeared behind whatever he went through? Or we still see him approaching fire.
I take that to mean battle. Because swords don't usually make noise until they hit something.
And he said nothing was magic. Lying.
Right.
Well, I said nothing in the cave was magic. I mean, this could be happening somewhere else.
Shut up. Shut up, Al. Don't defend him.
Well, it could be magic that's incapable of being detected.
Nothing new.
As I hear these whispers, I look over to Jessica and I just let her know that I'm getting this bad feeling, or that the veil between the void and the darkness, it's very thin in this cave. That we should definitely be on our guard.
I kind of start like kind of looking around even more carefully. If here, let's see, where is it here? If I use my touch sight, which is that 60-yard radius, can I sense any creatures that are like maybe invisible or concealed?
There are no concealed or invisible creatures that you can see.
I start walking toward where Kane went, to the center of the cave.
And I walk up to that area as well, do my little floaty thing over there.
So you float up towards the burning embers in the fire.
Yeah.
As you do this, you have a really like unsettling feeling, as if things are crawling on your skin. You swear you hear some kind of spell fire going on, echoing throughout the cave, but you can't see anything.
Oh, jeez. I go up to the fire and kind of put my hand over the flames.
There are no flames. It's just ember.
It's just ember.
Yeah, it's just burning embers. Jester is hiding and moving silently.
And then I'm going to end up wasting that effect because I'm going to pull the amulet back out and see what happens.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Kind of as the shadows around me kind of like reach out to the embers, I kind of put my hand closer to the center of the cam thing. And then I kind of like turn to Jessica and it's like, I don't know what's happening, but something is going down right now. We need to hurry and figure out what's going on, because I think our old friend Laura is here.
Hearing that name, I stand up and arm myself with my axe.
Kane does what?
I said, hearing that, I stand up and I just like arm myself with my axe as he mentioned Lore's name. Like staring at the fire, like I'm just standing. I've got my axe in both my hands.
The cave is illuminated only by the dying embers of the fire, and the pulsing green light of the amulet that Jester is holding out and staring at, as he's crouched next to some of that debris in the back of the cave.
Can I make like a knowledge planes check to see if there's like something going on like on the other side of like the veil, or since the veil is thin between, guess wherever here is in the void. See if I can get a sense of if something is happening here, but like not here.
Baby Sif!
Baby stuff.
He's high.
Hey. Hello.
Hey.
Wave.
Baby Sif, can I eat some of your lunch?
You want to eat it?
It's like, what? You gonna take my food? I don't know.
Hi. Oh no! It's coming!
Yes!
Oh no!
Yeah, as he keeps saying, "Oh no."
Oh no!
He's watched enough of your D&D sessions.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, and as Jester's saying these things, I'm staring at the embers, even though there's such little light, but it's the only light I'm going off of, just standing there with my axe.
So I hold the amulet over the fire. Wait and see if it does anything.
The amulet's light pulses in two different beams, moving in a circle throughout the cavern. Just kind of like a lighthouse beam, but two separate ones. And it moves Widdershin and the cave itself.
Does this light reveal anything?
There's nothing in the cave except Rebel in the fire. Rebel in the fire.
I drop the amulet in the fire.
You see a spark of green light, and you hear a yes as the amulet disappears. As soon as it hits the fire, it's gone.
I looked over at Jester and I'm like, that probably wasn't a good idea.
Seeing that the amulet disappears, I step into the embers.
Io disappears.
Yeah, that's my necklace, you bastard.
I thought you'd be happy that I was just gone.
I follow. Son of a bitch. I follow.
Yeah,
Yes.
I sigh and I'm like going, oh, we always get into
Hey,
these messes.
Can you go, oh no?
Okay, it's not my fault this time. You cannot blame this on Aya. Gesture who put the amulet in the fire.
So as each of you step through the fire, you have this lurging feeling as if you're being sprung somewhere. It's an instantaneous feeling of falling and falling. And then suddenly when you shake the feeling, you come to and you see like what looks like waves of darkness, and it kind of looks like you're in this room that's underwater, except the waves are of darkness. And within this room, as you stepped through, you see a large let's move Jester as he steps
And
through.
Gesture disappears in a flame of fire.
You see a large flame, what looks like a ball of fire with eyes and what looks like a mouth, and it's coming out of the fire, and it's swaying back and forth. As you also see a familiar face, as Kanali is standing next to the fire, picking up the amulet, and as everybody steps through, Io hears, "Brother, good of you to join us," as Lore's directly behind him, shadows wrapping him. And you see the familiar face of a like almost 6 foot tall female with red hair, who has her left hand held out, and you see what looks like a translucent shield, as sparks of lightning are coming out from Lore's fingertips, assaulting her. Before anything else happens, Jester launches an Eldritch Blast directly at Canoli.
He's the one that was trying to pick up the amulet, right?
Oh yeah, he has it. He picked it up.
Can't let him have it.
You said we're watching him pick it up. I'm
Yeah.
not letting that happen.
So he bends over to pick it up, and you shoot him with an Eldritch Blast. That he bobs out of the way, and he scoops up the amulet. And as he does this, the amulet shatters in his hands, and dark energies coalesce in the back of the room, and you see a large, what looks like shadowy, undead, 7-foot tall creature coalesce out of the energy, and you just hear him laughing silently to himself.
So I look at the big blob of fire and I say, "Can you kill me now?" Just a big old ball of flame.
You hear the fire speak in a very low, guttural voice. It says, "All will perish soon as we have the Codex."
Okay, I would like to request you start with that motherfucker over there.
Just me. Go.
No.
The female with the red hair holding out her shield, she says, "You've made it! They're here for the Codex. They're trying to get the God-forged weapon. We must stop them. All of them."
I run over to Laura.
Ooh, before you do that, please go ahead and roll initiative.
Yeah, I figured that was a thing.
I'm not going first.
Combat yet. Ah, goddammit, what the fuck?
Oh, shit. I guess Isle wants to go first.
I was looking for vengeance from against Laura.
Apparently.
He's a douchebag.
Now we just have to wait for Kane to get back. Alright, we'll roll Sif into initiative when he gets back. Go ahead, Io.
Okay. Well, as I'm charging to Laura, I enter my combat stance, Child of Shadow, and I go to attack Laura with maneuver Soaring Raptor Strike. So I make a jump check. If I succeed, then he's considered flat-footed against me. Jump check is equal to his AC, so he beat his AC.
Magically enhanced DC is 29. Design.
Okay, so jump check succeeds. So I was researching this the last time you said I do have to make an attack, but he's considered flat-footed against my attack.
He still gets magical bonus for being flat-footed, right? He just loses his dex.
Yeah, whatever the rules for flat-footed, I know flat-footed you lose your dex.
Yeah, it's just dex. So 24.
Is there a way to make him flat-footed in the combat modifiers, or do I just modify flat-footed? If I click that and I roll on, would that make him? That should work.
That should work.
Okay, yeah. So okay, I'm clicking flat-footed in the modifier and I drop it on him. It doesn't say what I hit.
Yeah, it's you got above a 33, or you got 33. That's above 25. You hit.
Yeah. So if I hit, if I hit, you do an extra 4 dice 6 points damage. So damage. Four dice 6. So that is 21 points of damage. I'm over here.
Okay. You hit him for 21 points of damage. Bam! And whose turn is it? Are you done? The arrow's your friends.
Oh. Yeah.
So it's the girl in the red hair's turn. She's still holding up the barrier with her left hand. And she sees Io strike, and Lord turn his attention to Io. She calls out, "Be wary! They strike at the heart, for they're trying to get the God-forged weapon. They have to go through me to get it." Come on. Too many character sheets up. Bam. Where's my button? 4, 4.
Oh, and also, I forgot to ask, I'm going to roll a die to see what Crusader maneuvers I have access to. 4. So that would maneuver 5 and tangling blade. Okay. And then after the first round, I roll once and get access to it every.
What's your ACIO? What's your touch AC?
Touch AC will chat. Touch AC is 20. AC 21.
You got a 21. Let's see. Your touch AC should be on the front of your character sheet. Yeah, it's 21. Lord Shadow Jumps melds into the shadow and appears directly behind Io. And yeah, Sif, if you can roll initiative. He shadow jumps right behind Io, and you can see a coalescing amount of energy in the ripples that are all around in the air because it looks like you're underwater. And he's pulling up from the ripples in the sky, and you can see energy floating around his hand. And he says, "The void is both of our assets. I can do maneuvers like that as well, brother." And he reaches out to you, Io. Make a fortitude save as he touches you.
If he's making a fortitude attack, activate my defensive maneuver that lets me use concentration at fortitude.
Yep, DC 24. Your whole fucking family.
Well, I don't exactly like the lore either, but I mean, we're not all bad. Just saying.
All right. So you feel like a huge intake of shadow energy, as if it's crushing you, and you feel like the reverberation of the room, or the waves around the room are drowning you. You fall immediately to your knees as you currently have 1 hit point.
What? Oh, gee.
As the energy leaves Lore's hand and he slowly lets off the touch as you fall to your knees because he touched you right in the chest, and all of this happens, he leans down and whispers in your ear. He says, "You will not win today, brother." You see Kanali disappear and reappear behind the redheaded chick, and you see him just grab a knife, and you see it plunge into her back.
So Kanali basically shadow stepped and stabbed her.
Yep. Backstabbed her. And Io attacked Lore in a flourish of super awesome blows, and then Lore basically death touched him. And he's on his knees, almost dead. And there's some kind of like shadowy lich in the background. Just
some asshole back there.
Just some asshole laughing to himself.
Like Snoke.
Yes.
Just some dick on a chair, just sitting there laughing.
Yep, pretty much.
Alright. Oh, fuck. Alright. Let's see. Each of these squares 5, so 5. I've got 40. Alright. Yep, cool. So, is he he's still like death touching Io, like, and he's on it, like Io's on his knees?
No, he just touched Io, and you saw him like lean over, and put his face to Io's ears, and then just kind of take a step back, and Io's like on his knees, like trying to catch his breath, like.
Okay, so I'm gonna run past, like axe wielded, run towards and take a swing, but try and like position myself in between Io and Lore. Like I'm gonna step to the right of Io, and as I swing, like try to step in front of him.
Okay.
And attacky. For the love of God, hit something.
Burn him with fire.
Shit.
Love of God.
That's a hit.
And it's a miss.
Kill
That's a
it.
hit.
Oh, thank goodness.
Roll again. Let's see if you confirm the crit. So 18 or better. Not a crit, but a hit.
Okay.
How did Kane go twice?
She's just that good.
Kane rushes in, no! And hits Lore straight in the chest with the axe, knocking him back a 5-foot step. And you can see tendrils of shadows reaching out from Lore in disgust.
The hell's going on over there?
Oh, the window's open because this place that I'm in doesn't have AC, and then these children just love to play outside. I mean, I've never seen a child play outside more than the kids that live next door because they're always outside screaming.
Good.
You don't have AC?
No, like in
It's-
Seattle,
it's-
like
In Seattle, you don't have AC. You don't usually...
most places don't have AC, which surprised me. Like $1 million house doesn't have AC in Seattle because they don't think they need it.
Well,
They're crazy.
you really don't.
I mean, even if it's like 70 degrees outside, I mean, it gets stuffy in the house without it. It gets stuffy. People need it. They just don't know anything.
Oh shit! It's my turn.
Yes.
So
Like,
I'm going on the excessively literal. And she said to get the weapon, they had to go through her. So I'm bull rushing her.
Of course, Jester's going to be the traitor and side with Kanali of all people.
And if it doesn't look like she's going to let me in, as I'm yelling, "Let me in! Let me in!"
What door are you trying to go through?
This is not the time for that, okay?
She looks
So
at
this
you
is-
with a perplexed look as she has, you can see she's bleeding from her back from the dagger and where Cannoli stabbed her. And she's attempting to turn and face Cannoli on her next turn as you're running towards her. Let me in, let me in!
So, in the middle of, can I add a tumble to that move
Yes.
and still attack?
Sure.
Okay. So seeing that she's not like magically turning into some portal. I dodge faster, land about here. And do absolutely nothing.
Attempt to stab Cannoli with the dagger and he bats it away with an open hand. But the tumble was cool as shit.
I thought you said we had to go through you to get the thing. And done. Oh, fuck.
Excellent.
It's okay, just wait till it's Chris's turn. Sika's gonna nuke somebody into oblivion. And rightly so. Preferably war or all the bad people.
The creature floats over next to the fire and begins saying something to it in a language that none of you understand.
And it's Chris's turn to nuke everything.
See, now you're just gonna have all of these expectations.
Well,
that
yeah, we do have a lot of expectation.
Okay. Ooh, I'm so tiny. All right. There we go. I move over here. Kind of in a distance, equal distance between the two, but I look at Kanali and I use my mind thrust and I am going to just put the regular like 10 points into it.
Okay.
So that's
Put all the
the
points.
what is that?
So you're attacking Laura or Cannoli?
Kanali.
Okay.
And that's the 13 will save.
He rolled an adjusted 19.
All right. So that is, I have to look at this again because so Oh, I forgot to drop it on him. Oops, sorry.
45, he has to be dead.
Well, I don't think it would have mattered dropping it on him, because since I'm not throwing an actual damage thing.
Yeah.
He takes 45 damage from the save. Or what?
Oh, it was a save? No, it was a. You said he rolled a adjusted 19.
Oh yeah, what's the will
I-
save he has to beat?
23.
Oh yeah. Okay, 45 damage. So he gets blown off of his feet and 5 feet back and just lands on his back on the ground, shaking his head. And you just hear him say, "Oh, not that green witch again." And I say I'm like, well, we'll get you this time.
Okay, so he said I have literally 1 hit point or whatever.
Yes, you literally have 1 hit point left.
So that's. Oh, well, let's see. I guess I will drink a healing potion because since he backed up, I'm not within his attacking range. I wouldn't provoke an attack of opportunity if I drank a potion.
Correct. He's outside of
Okay.
his threat range. Or you're
Right.
outside of his threat range. Unless he pulls out his scythe.
Alright, well then I will use a Cure Moderate Wounds, which is,
+5.
what's the die roll on that again?
2d8 plus 5.
Yes. 8. Right. That's okay, and I go ahead and take like a 5-foot step back toward Jessica.
Like, oh shit. Look, you have 13 hit points. The chick like stands next to Jester and gives him a nod and holds her hand out directly to Canali's face, who's bloodied and on the ground, and you see a little pebble of fiery energy appear in her hand, and she holds her hand out, and the pebble floats in front of her hand, and she's got it pointed directly at Canali's face, and she says, "This is your last warning. Go back to the realm you came from, or you will meet pure fire to the face," as she holds her action.
Fuck his warning, just kill him!
She says, "He is a noble fighter. I shall give him a chance to live."
Noble.
With that said, you see Lore pop directly behind her, and in a swipe of his axe, or not his axe, of his scythe, you see the back of the scythe go directly through her, and through her chest and out, and you hear her gasp as she wheezes, and tears fall down from her eyes as she looks over towards Jester and mouths, "I'm sorry," as the as the red beaded ball that was held stasis above her hand falls to the ground. Go ahead and make a reflex save as a giant fireball goes off as the bead hits the ground in front of her. And Jester reflexes out of the way and takes no damage. Oh. Ah! Evasion! As you see Lore stand through the heat, and you see the chick with the red hair is instantly disintegrated as the fireball goes off.
Oh, jeez.
Kane's turn.
Cool. So Lore's facing where she was, right?
Yeah, Lore had her on the back of his scythe, which he ran through her, and then the fireball went off and she evaporated, and now he's got his scythe flipped it back, and it disappeared into the shadows. And he's standing there looking at the scarred earth,
Okay.
where the redheaded chick was. Little flakes of ash fall down around him.
Oh, let's see. 5, 10, 15. Boom!
Oh no.
I throw a bomb. And it's gonna land, like, right here. My pointer, where's my circle? Boop!
Sweet.
So it'll hit both of them. So it's gonna be this much fire damage, whatever the hell it is. Meh.
Damn.
And they'll what is it? Let me look at it. Sorry. If they make a reflex save of, what was that? 17, they take half.
Go ahead and 12 damage. They both take 12 damage. They don't move.
Okay. And I'm done. I don't move. I'm still there, kind of protecting Isle.
Or
Looking for anything that she might have dropped or left behind, because presumably these things are pretty powerful and wouldn't necessarily go up in a blaze of whatever.
Yeah, you don't see anything. All you see is ashes laying around in between the two of them, and Canoli's still on the ground, like dusting himself off from Kane's fireball, and Lore's just standing there unblinkingly looking at where she was standing, or where he just murdered her.
So I go to the other side of the elemental, and I make a presumptuous ass out of myself once more and say, your keeper's gone, come with us.
Oh, but the true fight has not begun.
Fine.
So an Eldritch Blast hits Cannoli square in the chest as he's leaned back on the ground. And you hear him grumble and hell out, "Damned mage!" Shit.
Where the fucking... There it is.
So as Cannoli's sitting there and Lore's looking at him, Lore extends his hands out and Cannoli stands up and stands next to Lore. And Lore turns back towards Jesse and towards Io, and he says, "Her true form is now coming back. I suggest we all work together, as once we slay her true form, then we will have the Codex. Unless you're not here for the God-forged weapons."
We're definitely not here to help you, so figure about that.
Says, "But we're one of the same side." Laura just looks at the ground disappointedly. It's Jesse's turn.
All right. I'm going to do the same thing at Cannoli again, with the 10 points added onto it, so another Mind Thrust, so save of 23.
Natural 19. He gets a 31 on his will save.
Damn it. Then, nothing.
It's Io's turn.
Yeah, since I'm in this cave is a dark, shadowy area, I get my shade regeneration.
Yep.
Here, right?
Actually, yeah, you get that times 2. You feel very strong with the energies around you, as if it's magnifying your strength.
Okay, I'm forth get my roll to see what maneuver I get this turn. Slots. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to use my shade jump to pop in more. And then I will use my Divine Crusader revitalizing, right? Aurora of divine energy surround me, and my attack hits, I will heal for 3d6 plus 1 point per level. So, go to attack, attack.
That effect doesn't happen as you summon that energy in the light effect, but for whatever reason, the healing energy is enabled to take hold of itself and the current place that you're at.
Okay. So is this? So I guess I'll just make a Shannon attack that. Because it would only heal me if I made a successful attack. So, so since that doesn't work, then
The darkness, it has enveloped Sif.
put it on as a hit.
Yeah, roll damage.
I'll go down.
Baby Sif.
13 points damage. Alright, and I don't get to use the healing effect from the maneuver you said?
No. The healing effect cannot manifest.
Alright, I hit him for 13, and that's it.
So the ashes from the ground in front of Lore and Canali coalesce and fly to the back of the room, where you see a slight glob of black energy form, and as the ashes intertwine with it, it morphs itself into a large beast with green scales and green wings. As it stands very, very tall, very imposing, looking directly at Canoli, Lore, and Io. Its eyes glowing bright green. And the creature looks at all three of them, Canoli, Io, and Lore, and says, "You will not kill me. You will not have the Codex. All of you will perish. No one can have what I have guarded for a millennia. None of you ancients are worthy."
And trying to stance.
Son of an ancient.
I don't think that it really cares about that distinction right now.
And with that, the fire extinguishes out from the creature that was above the fire, and the embers stop burning as the room is just incredibly dark and filled with the large ancient dragon creature and the rest of you, as you hear the soft wind reverberating through the cave, just as in as it was before you stepped through the fire. And that is where we'll pick up Sunday night. Yay!
I don't think I don't think it's going to be this Sunday. I think it's going to be next Sunday. Chris, that's your thing this weekend? Or is that next weekend?
Anna will be here next weekend, so.
So this coming weekend, the
Yep.
3rd?
Yep, I'm gonna be unavailable.
Or the 2nd. So the 9th. So that's where we'll pick up on the 9th as the giant dragon confronts you.
Woo!
Haha, cliffhanger. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.